In my opinion, this is not backed scientifically or anything by research, whatever. I feel like a large percentage of people enter into the contract of marriage, enter it hoping to be there forever. But sometimes things don't go as we plan, right? And they separate, they have to go their separate ways for different reasons. And one of such reasons, and one that is usually hammered on a lot, is domestic violence. They say, oh, when your partner starts to hit you, or hints at the possibility of them eating you in the nearest future, you do what? Hold your ears and run. Don't look back. Don't ask them why. Don't say maybe. No excuse, because if they do it the first time, you've signed a ticket for them to do it for the rest of your life, and you might eventually even meet your death. Ask Osinachi Nwachukwu, who passed away in 2022, in what is believed to be domestic violence. In fact, the husband has been sent to life in prison. I mean, not just like, I think they sentenced him to death by hanging or something. One of the capital punishments actually is what the court said it should be his portion. Anyways, this video we're looking at some of Nigerians' prominent figures that had to leave their marriages due to domestic violence. Because Regina Daniels, daughter of Rita Daniels, ex-wife to Senator Ned Nwoko, sixth wife, recently came out to say, oh, in my house, I'm a queen. Here, I am nobody. I'd rather go back to my house where I am a queen and do things in the way that profits me. So she left the marriage, and her brother and herself, they released videos and evidences of domestic violence meted on her by Senator Ned Nwoko. The marriage started in 2019, and unfortunately it has sort of met its end in 2025, because while Ned's team are saying the marriage is still intact, they are fine. Regina Daniels is showing us pictures and videos of her in her new apartment, having bought a new house, moved out. We don't know if she's with her children. She has 2 children with San Ned Nwoko, but we don't know if they are if the children are with her, because according to San Ned, he's painting a different story, tagging her a different thing. I'm just explaining this because this is still one of the hottest cases that we have recently of another woman coming to accuse her husband of abusing her in the marriage, physically abusing her, hitting her in the marriage. This is yet to be proven in the court of law or anything, but this is what we have on social media. Please note that all of the things I'm going to say here, you're going to have to do your own research to corroborate what I've said. If you don't agree, feel free in the comment section to drop your thoughts there. Let's be respectful about it. Let's talk about it. Let's just rub minds together. This is what we do here. We bring you lifestyle news reports, happenings as it hot, and this is just one of such information that I'm passing across. I hope you understand that part. Anyways, Regina Daniels is second. I've mentioned Osinachi Nwachukwu, the Ekweme singer, who passed in 2022 in what is believed to be as a result of a domestic abuse situation. Basically, her husband sort of strangled her or something until she passed, right? And then we have Regina Daniels, who left the marriage recently because Ned Nwoko was hitting her. Now in 2017, Mercy Aigbe had something similar. Herself and her ex-husband, who is now remarried. Mercy is also remarried, so I'm not trying to drag us back. Larry Gentry, her husband of about 4 or 5 years then, she came online one day to say, oh, this man has been hitting me, pictures and videos of her, bleeding, blood, parts of her body, and all of those things, and it's been going on for years. And then, usual manner, the man came out, said something else. She's promiscuous, and especially he was even able to talk when Mercy got married to someone else's husband, so to say. She became second wife, or now maybe only wife, because the initial wife has since left the marriage, right? And they were also like, oh, they've been together even while she was with Larry Gentry, and Larry Gentry even came out to corroborate the story, saying yes, people asked for the paternity of the child she shares with Larry Gentry, saying is Juwon looks so much like your current husband, and although was a lot of back and forth and stuff's happening in that period. But Mercy Aigbe left her second marriage, or the first official one that we know, to Larry Gentry on this thing of domestic violence. That is why she left. Another person who left and is a prominent figure, and theirs was also messy. I mean, if you look at it, when it comes to maybe infidelity or irreconcilable differences and all of those things, they sort of kind of end amicably, sort of. But when it comes to, oh, he's hitting me, she's hitting me, it's always messy. Both parts coming to defend their stories and argue their points on social media. Another such case is Tiwa Savage. Tiwa Savage's story actually started as, oh, infidelity. There's somebody on his phone saved as, I think, ice cream of small chops, something like that. And allegedly he was sleeping, T-Bills, Tiwa Savage's ex-wife and ex-husband and father of her son, Jam Jam, allegedly cheating on her. A couple of years after the marriage, it was messy. Tiwa said her own, and then she now came back in 2016 to say, oh, by the way, he also hits me. I just never mentioned that in my stories and in the things I've been saying. So Tiwa Savage's story also ended on a note of domestic violence. Another person whose story ended in such a manner is Ngozi Nwosu. Now, this woman is aged. She's one of the OG mothers in Nollywood, right? And it's not until recently that she started talking about what she experienced while she was married. She just know that, oh, she's not with her husband. I even thought her husband was late. I didn't even know she separated because of domestic violence. Now she featured in Biola Adebayo's show, and she shared her story. She actually faced backlash because initially she was saying that, oh, infidelity is not a reason to leave your marriage. If your man cheats, you can stay. But one thing she would advise no woman to stay is domestic violence. And she stated her own example that. And then she also said the same story when she featured on Ayo Adesonya's show also, where she told the story of a story that she said she can never forget. It was not the first time the man would beat her, but that was just the one that broke the camel's back, and she was like, nah, I have to leave this man, because she said she was ready to kill him. She had carried the person in the kitchen and she was ready to hit him. That she even tried, but then he went through the door, so he didn't hit him. The force was, broken by the door. That she asked him a question, like something like why, and then the man came to the kitchen where she was, pulled her hair such that her braid fell off and there was blood and all of those things. She was like, I can't stay. And then she left, and she's not looked back since. So she advised young women and women in general, young, old, whatever, if you're starting afresh and you notice that it might hit you, leave. If you're already there and it hits you, find a way, you'll pick yourself together and then you will leave. There are several stories of women who never left and then they died. I've mentioned Osinachi. Honorary mention is Bimbo, the late Bimbo that died in 2022. IVD's ex-wife. She died. Leave. Anyways, this story is brought about by Regina Daniel's situation. That's why I'm just shedding light on this. Moving on from Ngozi Nwosu, I'm going to talk about Ayo Adesanya herself. She was married to Omogoriola Hassan, and people have even come to tell the story that I guess people knew them then in their house in Lagos, Nigeria, that Omogoriola Hassan was not just cheating, it was eating her. She said several locations she had to go on movie set, with swollen face. She said there was even a time they were shooting close to her house. She went home to get some stuffs. By the time she would return to the set, her eyes were swollen because she had received quick beating just to pick some stuff in the house. It was a terrible one. She said she was depressed, she was drinking because she didn't even think she could leave, right? And it took the courage that her friends lent her. She didn't have the courage to leave. It was her friends, people around her that gathered together like, you have to leave this man's house. And then she eventually did leave. Omogoriola has since married, but Ayo Adesanya has not remarried. She's still there, open to marriage. Hopefully somebody who is going to do right by her is going to come along soon, and they are going to have an amazing home. Who can tell? I can't tell. I don't know. Anyways, moving on from them, Daddy Freeze also is a victim of domestic violence. Yes, you can say men, but also men also get it in their homes, in their marriages, right? His first wife, not his current wife, his first wife, Okpeyemi Olarinde. That was one of the reasons why the marriage broke. According to the story, she used to hit him in the radio station. That was when he was still actively working in the radio station and all of those things. So he also did have his share of, domestic abuse. Another man who recently just started talking about that is Frank Edo. After his second marriage crashed, Frank Edo was having a self-reflection and was like, maybe marriage is not for me. But then he was like, in my first marriage, I didn't do no wrong. I was the victim because Catherine Obiang, who he was married to, the Cameroonian Nigerian, allegedly used to hit him multiple times. He also cited two different examples while he featured on Isbeyu's show on YouTube, and then he talked about physical abuse and how much of that he had to endure before he decided that enough was enough, and then he left the marriage. Another person is Tonto Dike. Tonto Dike was married to Olakunle Churchill. Olakunle has since remarried, and there's been issues since he remarried that even his current wife, they are saying that, oh, maybe she wants to leave the house she has left and this on that one, but they are still, you know, damage control, they are still together. But Tonto Dike revealed that, oh yes, she married him. Among all of the many things that she said went wrong in her marriage, you know, he was a 1-minute man. She sponsored the wedding. He said related to Obasanjo. She found out it wasn't. One of the things that she said was that he used to physically assault her, and she had to run for her life. I mean, how many years after the marriage and having her son King, she left the marriage. Anyways, the list is not exhaustive. I can't exhaust it, right? But these are just some persons, some prominent persons, like I mentioned, who has had to leave their marriage on the, should I say on the, what's the word they use in court? I'm trying to look for the official word, right? On the basis of domestic, you know, abuse, saying that, oh, he hit me, she hit me, and all of those things. And basically, it's just a cry to everybody to say, you have to be responsible for yourself. If your partner starts to hit you, know when to leave, right? Know when to leave. Leave to leave. I like that phrase, but honestly, it's the truth. Now, if you don't agree with me, because there's some persons that feel like, oh, if he beats you, there's been arguments all over social media. If he beats you, you can stay, depending on how he beats you, and if it's not a recurrent thing, if it's not happening too frequently, all of those things. So I would like to hear all of your different opinions in the comment section. If you ask me personally, I would say leave. Honestly, it's better to leave and withstand all of the snakering and talk and back talks than to not be here and then blame you for not leaving when you could have left. Anyways, that's the story. I would like to see you in the comment section. Like this video if you enjoyed it. We are still your one-shop plug for everything entertainment. Leave a comment, drop it, share it with your friends. Subscribe to this channel if you are yet to do so, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves, guys, and bye.